Hello everyone and welcome to the Power 9 Podcast. My name is Mika. I'm one of your hosts alongside the Future Pro. He's back.
I'm back.
I'm back.
Hey guys.
How are you?
I had a decently fun time at Indonesia.
Thank you for the ding ding. For those of you who don't know what ding ding is, it's bakwa. For those of you who don't know what bakwa is, it's
kind of Indonesian bakwa.
Yeah, exactly. It's like halal bakwa.
Yeah, I remember like the first time at Indonesia, like I want ding ding, but I couldn't get it in time. So then I went to this time like, maybe I should actually get him that ding ding this time.
Oh yeah,
and got
ding, 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 ding. Yeah, it's basically like barbecued beef jerky.
Yep.
I think that's the
but you have to cook it first.
Yeah, you gotta cook it lah. I mean, like barbecue this thing. Of course, it's one of the favorites at like Pasar Malams, which are the night markets here in Singapore.
Oh yeah.
And there are some of them that do sell the.
How much are they in Singapore? How much are they in Singapore?
Expensive, too expensive. I think it's like
for one piece?
$3.50 for like 100 grams, which is usually like one piece, maybe.
Oh boy.
So it is, it's a treat lah, it's a treat.
You know, the pack I got you was like $10.
$10, and that's like heavy, man. That's half a kilo. Yeah, like, okay, maybe not half a kilo lah, but yeah.
Import from Indonesia, you're on ding ding, man.
Oh yeah. Anyway, thank you for that present. How was your time in Indonesia?
It was pretty good. I played some PPTQs, but I'll save that for the later segment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been getting messages from you from Indonesia about your PPTQ experience. We'll talk about that in a while.
My sadness and stuff.
Yeah. If you can hear, I'm still not 100% well.
You can hear that.
So
like,
you can hear that little husky.
You can hear the phlegm gargle in his throat.
Oh yeah. It's trying to come out. I now have to drink like warm water all the time.
Warm?
To prevent myself from like coughing up everything. And we're recording this on a Sunday morning that I forgot, or I did not maybe I did not realize that the judge meetup, it's not a conference, not really a conference, like a small meetup to update on the rules and regulations and the policies is happening today. I knew it was happening today. I did not realize it was happening here
in Singapore,
in Grey Ogre Games, where we usually.
Wait, what?
It is. So you can sit in. I mean, like today, are you working?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll be able to enjoy the company of many judges. I will be here. But I won't be attending the conference.
You'll be playing D&D.
Yeah, I think I'll be playing D&D. I don't know. I definitely need to prepare for the
conference.
For the
D&D?
not the conference. The
D&D.
Yeah, the session.
Okay,
so, yeah.
Cool.
Of which yesterday I spent too much time watching movies. So
what were you watching?
Batman. Lego Batman movie. I watched John Wick 2. I finally watched John Wick, and then in quick succession I went to go and watch John Wick 2.
Oh,
and
man.
it's a fantastic movie, man. That it's shot so well.
Oh yeah, speaking of movies, I watched La La Land in Indonesia.
La La Land.
Oh, that movie was so good actually.
Yeah, that's why I think it's a very polar movie. There's some people that say it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then some people are like, "What? I don't understand this film." I think when you don't understand the film, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. You need to have that certain level of depth for something.
Yeah, I haven't watched La La Land, but from what I understand from it is that you gotta take your time.
Yeah,
and then you gotta understand the film.
Maybe I'll watch it again with Rian.
I don't know. I'll hopefully watch it on the plane on the way to Taipei tomorrow.
Oh man.
Anyway, you're listening to not the movie podcast, but the Power 9 podcast. Every week, myself and Alfian, we get together and we talk shop about this little game called Magic the Gathering. Not sure if you heard of it. You can find new episodes every week. Power9podcast.com, mtgcast.com, as well as on iTunes. So let's start the episode. As always, we start every episode with my week in Magic.
All right.
So how was your week in Magic, Alfian? How was your few weeks?
Yeah, I'm gonna condense 3 weeks of Magic.
All right, into like 5 minutes worth of.
Yeah.
I know we always say like each of us gets like less than 5 minutes worth, but we always go rambling on.
It's okay. I think this one is quite simple.
All right, so 5 minutes.
Okay, throughout my few weeks of PPTQ, right, I played like around 4. Mm-hmm. I top 8'd 1, went 4th place.
What?
No, but then I lost terribly in the other 3.
Okay.
But so what I realized, right, was that I had the same 50-50 matchup all the time. When I won the games, I was drawing good. When I lost the games, it's because I was drawing bad.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not because I keep bad hands. I had to keep those bad hands. I was like mulling to 6
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you just have to keep.
So, in conclusion, right, what I realized was that in this meta, I think it's a bit stale already. So someone needs to innovate to create a deck that beats Green Black Delirium or something.
Not Green Black Delirium, man.
Like Mardu Vehicles or Kitty Cat. Or all three. If you
there are those few decks, right?
Yeah.
And then those few decks are like the 50-50. Each deck versus each other is like 50-50.
Yeah, exactly.
Matchup, right?
And like sometimes I don't know if it's I'm bad at the game or my deck tech is bad or the luck is not there.
Green Black Energy, man. Play that Green Black Energy.
Yeah, but you say it's too late.
I don't know whether it's too late, but there definitely needs to be changes to.
Yeah. I'll experiment with it like tonight. I'll be playing I'll be recording some testing with Ryan tonight. Check that Ribi versus Fifi. Check that out on YouTube.
Do head on down youtube.com/ actually we got not enough subscribers. youtube.com and then put down in Power 9 Podcast or Riri versus Fifi. That's RIRI versus FIFI.
Also the PPTQ entry to donation is like $10.
Oh, okay. 10 Sing dollars or 10
Sing dollars.
Okay, so that's not.
And unlike certain places, they do give out prizes.
Yeah. It's not a $10 donation to the store.
I did get 5 packs for 4th place. So
yeah, okay, that's not so bad.
Yeah, I know, but some places just
in don't give up.
Better developed countries,
just don't give out prizes at all.
Yeah, I wonder which prices.
$10 donations.
Yeah.
Woo!
Some people think it's okay.
Yeah. How did you play any Magic this week? I think.
Oh yeah, that's yesterday.
Oh, just yesterday.
Yeah, I combined that with the thing.
Oh, okay,
that's why I concluded that the 50-50 matchup. I think it needs to be some innovation to be on the edge.
Yeah. I think one of those innovations, and I've been using it in the Green Black Energy deck, is Lifecrafter's Bestiary.
Oh,
amongst most things.
I think everyone's using it already.
No, I don't think so. There's not enough. So they use it in the sideboard. I think you use it in the main board? Yeah. One in the main board and then 2 more in the sideboard.
That's spicy.
To combat.
3 in total?
Yeah, 3 in total.
Oh, man.
It is super good against just control decks and decks that have a lot of removal. So the thing about the deck, and then I probably like shifting into my week in Magic, I suppose. The thing about that deck or the Green Black Energy deck is that you have X amount of threats, and that's like there's actually 25.
X being creatures. A large number.
X being a pretty large number lah. And that Lifecrafter's Bestiary just helps you draw into more threats because that person is going to have X number of removal.
Okay.
And then, like the Green Black Delirium, has X number of removal. And then the Kitty Cat deck has X number of removal.
Okay,
and
but what if you consistently trade 1 for 1, right? Then they do a combo. What are you going to do about that?
Yeah, for the combo matchup, I think the Lifecrafter's Bestiary goes out. Because for that combo matchup, like, if you're on the draw, and if you're on the play, like, you just have to be aggressive.
Okay.
And then just keep the right types of removal, and that's it. So it's kind of...
Okay, yeah. Another thing I learned, right, from playing against Kitty Cat matchup, I was advised this from one of my new friends at this new shop I went to. It's
Mishra
called
Workshop.
No, it's a new shop. It's called The Cube KGD.
The Cube KG, okay.
And my friend Michael Giulianto.
Okay.
He also shout out to the Cube KGD's owner, Wendra Kamatjaja.
Whoa,
he's coming to charge in the RPTQ as well, so
nice.
Gonna have some.
Ooh.
He's level 1 trying to promote to level 2, so he's getting the mentorship and stuff.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah. Wow, just to do the RPTQ is
yeah. He was also look at our setup because I told him our setup was cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I mean, Mick Ju told me that you should against the copycat matchup. Actually, he suggested maybe not playing Lost Legacy or Transgress, but instead speeding up your clock.
No, I don't think you can kill by turn 4. Because sometimes they just go off on like turn 4. Well, if they do try to land Saheeli on turn 3, Saheeli will probably die.
That's
likelihood. Oh well.
Well, but that ends my week in Magic and stuff. So how about yours, Nick?
I got the draft this week. I think the only thing I got to do was draft. I did do the stream, and my voice was, just
Hoarse.
My voice just took a beating after that, and I just told myself, okay, let's not do Wednesday, and let's not just do this until I get better.
You want me to replace you on Tuesday?
You will probably have to, because I've got to go for a business trip.
Okay.
In Taiwan.
Oh wow, getting business trips already.
Well, I'm probably gonna go there to die, so I need to write my will before I leave tonight.
Oh man, will you give me anything?
Yeah. Some of the Judge promos.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hope Vic dies.
Hope my plane crash. But anyway, what was that? I got a draft. I thought I drafted a pretty sick deck.
Okay.
Green-blue is not a very good color in the current draft meta. It is.
There's a lot of bombs though.
There's a lot of bombs, but you pair blue with something else that is heavy in removal, and I think I just chose the wrong colors, because the three of us, me, Wilfred, and who was sitting beside me, Wei Heng.
Okay.
We all drafted green-blue. And it was surprising that it could support all our decks. Like the pool was able to support all our decks, which is amazing. And Wei Heng went on to, I think, Wei Heng won one game, and then Wilfred went 3 wins.
Oh man.
So
how did you do?
Well, I won one game, and that's it. Well, I got a lot bad hands, but I thought the deck was okay, because it curved out. Like when it curved out like really sweet.
Beautiful,
and I curved out a lot. I curved out a lot, but because I didn't have removal, I didn't have the proper removal. I had like, tap this down and tap that down, and you're gonna bounce that. Not the best, but still fine. So yeah, that's our week in Magic. Yeah. We are going to talk about fake cards.
A much
it's
very taboo subject.
I don't think it's a taboo subject. Cheating is probably a taboo subject. People have been advising me.
That's pretty taboo.
Yeah, people have been advising me not to talk about cheating, but I think one of these days we need to talk about Cheaty McCheaty face.
I don't think people cheat. I don't see people cheat that much.
You don't.
Because they're cheating very well.
Because they're cheating very well, but some of us know when some other players are
Maybe that's
cheating.
why I'm losing games.
We've experienced it ourselves, and I don't know, I've experienced it myself, especially locally. There is
Wait, seriously?
There is a fair amount of people trying to cheat and it's very obvious. It's fairly obvious, but you got to keep your eyes peeled, and we'll talk about that in another day. But here we're going to talk about a relatively taboo but not so taboo subject called fake cards. Fake. It's fake. Fake news.
Fake news,
fake
man.
Cards. Star City Games, fake cards. Channel Fireball, fake cards.
TCG player, fake cards.
TCG players, really fake cards. My best friend is what's the analogy to Fox News? I don't know. Anyway, so fake cards today, and I think the first thing that we need to start off the topic with is a distinction between proxy cards and counterfeits, and whether there is a distinction, because we were talking about this. This was actually not in the notes.
Okay.
This didn't even cross my mind until you brought it up this morning, where you were talking about what about the guy who was selling proxy cards. So there was, I think this one came up because this topic came up because Edwin suggested, hey, there's a guy on Carohel who's selling proxy cards.
Yep.
You know, it's not. It's just very. I won't say it's high quality because I don't think it passes the light test. I also don't think it passes the inspection under loop. But it's good, I guess. Good enough for you to use in casual.
Yeah, casual EDH.
And that's what the guy was advocating.
Yeah.
Right.
But okay, here's the problem. In the website itself, right? One testimony marketed it as, I brought it to REL events and got away with it.
Oh man,
so
that's how good it was. Right?
Putting that on the website, right, kind of indicates the kind of it creates an underlying thing. I don't know how to call
it. Something that you kind of want to avoid, lah. Yeah. But anyway, so we want to make a definition between the proxy and the counterfeit. So counterfeits are basically those that are produced en masse by somebody. So there's obviously there's a lot of rumors
bulk production
that in China that they are producing lots and lots of these counterfeits.
There is a list though of this like print lists. Like there's a list of cards that are to watch out for, like Blood Creek, Breeding Pool, Elspeth.
all the dual lands.
It's in a South City article by what's his name, Charles Andres.
Oh yeah.
Counterfeit cards.
Yes, I'm on that as well. So there is those, and this was written in 2014. Yeah, so Blood Creek was still in standard.
Oh man.
And 2014 was before they imprinted the
KDK fetch.
No, not the KDK fetch.
Oh, the
hologram,
sticker, yeah.
Sticker
maybe this event might have prompted the stickers.
I don't think so. Well, maybe. Well, WotC has to keep a lookout for fake cards and how to improve fake cards. But back to the definition. And then we have these people making proxies, and they are openly advertising. Okay, we can make proxies for you for your casual events. These are what we mean by proxies is literally like taking a LAN. Like when we don't have it in our EDH decks and stuff like that, we take a LAN and we write the card name on it, and then we just slot it
print out the cards on a piece of paper and put it
in like a black white piece of paper. So this is replacing. These are like high quality proxies that are replacing what we are currently doing. But in doing that, like that, I don't think there's any distinction. You can grab a mic, by the way. Yeah, you go grab it yourself, because I assumed that you were not going to show up. Yeah, Kaz is here.
Kaz is here, man.
Unfortunately. So there's number one thing when it comes to like proxies, when it comes to basically reprints, physical representations of cards, and that is the stealing of IP. So stealing of intellectual property. There's also trademark infringement. There's damages. Okay, and damages, what we mean by damages in terms of defamation and definitely in trust. So when the quality of the card is no good, you kind of start to mistrust certain sources.
Yeah, exactly.
And if, let's say, a store sells you
a fake card without knowing it's a fake card,
yeah, and then that damages the reputation of the store. And then, of course, there's monetary gain on top of all of this. So, is there really a distinction between proxy cards and counterfeits? I don't think there should be. They are still counterfeits. They are still representations of the original card, but not the original card.
I think proxy cards, right, has a more innocent tone to it, as you intend for other people to know that it's a proxy card. But
that's why like somebody's telling you this is a real fake.
Yeah,
this is fake.
I think it's more to the extent of how good the fake is, right?
Yeah,
like so.
I don't think so.
So I believe like most people, their intent they do their own printing to do proxies. They're usually not for sales. It's more like, hey, I have a high definition printer. I can print something that looks nice and looks real for our casual play. Yep. The question then is this person's intent for his own use and his friend's use, or is he doing for monetary gain? And I think that's the definition, the line between being an actual proxy and actually marketing fake cards away, right?
No, but at the end of the day, they're still selling the proxies.
Yeah, so that's where it comes in. So if there's monetary gain, then even if you call it a proxy, then by all means, it is infringement on intellectual rights by Wizards of the Coast, right?
Correct,
for their property. So
this is a counterfeit. Like, I won't say we should not be distinguishing between counterfeit and proxy cards. Yeah. Probably just like you were mentioning, whether we are going to make money out, whether the person who is printing these cards are going to make money out of these cards, and lo and behold, you shouldn't, because that's not your intellectual property.
And for one, you don't support your LGS by creating proxies, because if you can proxy a whole 100-card EDH deck, then what? As the LGS, what's the use of the LGS and having products for actually sales, and what's the point of us sorting inventory?
We'll talk about that in a while. Definition aside, we're going to talk about the impact. I suppose there are two main articles that we're drawing out from. One is a Reddit post, which is the analysis of potential impact of Chinese counterfeit MTG cards, and that was an article about 3 years ago. And there's one on Board Game Geek, which is something that I definitely want to contest. And the last article, of course, is the Shaz Andres article on Star City Games. I'm going to link all the I'm going to put the link of all the websites.
Give us the TLDR, baby. Of all 3 articles.
Actually, the TLDR is fake cards are bad, but
for different reasons.
Yeah, for very different reasons. What is it? Okay, so all of the articles tell us that the fakes are very good. The fakes are hard to distinguish.
They're very convincing fakes.
They're very convincing. The what you call it? The print is correct. The spacing, the font, the kerning, whatever have you.
They're not those kiddie Pokemon counterfeit cards you had back in the day.
Exactly. The sticker, right? Like the holofoil sticker you peel off, stick on your fridge.
The finish is correct, and last but not least, of course, the blue paper is inside the card. And what do we mean by blue paper is that there is
a tear test, but
the tear test does not really.
Have you seen a Raging Ravine though?
Oh yeah.
So that no longer counts, by the way.
What's that?
Basically, Ben had a fake Raging. Was it Joe?
No, so Mark bought a collection, and there was a Chinese Raging Ravine. So it felt like it passed every test, and Joe was convinced it was fake, whereas Mark was still on the line. So we decided to, this is fine, do a tear test. And there was the blue line. And we realized that actually where we spotted the details of it being a fake was actually within the subtype, the archetype border. There's small white dots along the border where normal cards, these cards do not have these borders.
Okay.
Yeah, so the tear test apparently doesn't work anymore.
Well, the tear test is a bogus test anyway, I think.
I think it's...
At the point of time of like 2012, 2013, they've already identified, okay, what is that blue layer in the middle?
Yeah.
I don't think that's...
But it does identify the older counterfeits.
It does. Yeah.
Especially when people are trying to move humongous collections at ridiculous low prices, and then you'd be suspicious. So it does catch the old fakes. Like, it doesn't catch the newer ones.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So these articles are the ones that we're drawing off on. The two main things that we need to go and discuss is the magnitude and then the impact. And maybe let's talk about the magnitude first, because I think that's about the circulation. So the magnitude is how bigly this has affected our industry, or this economy, so to speak. So the cards obviously go into circulation from somewhere.
Yep.
Probably sold off from the printer themselves to players.
To shops, then to other players,
and then that's how it penetrates into the market. Okay, so there's two avenues. One is that either the printer sells directly to players, or the printer sells it to shops as collections.
I think if you sell it to a shop, right, I think it's on the shop. It becomes more dangerous because the shop is the more trusted source. You see,
correct. But being a shop, right, and this is being a shop,
you should have
you should know how to buy cards. And also you should suspect like when somebody is trying to sell you off a certain collection.
I mean, to that, my comment is, I've been doing this since
some are good, some
like 2014. I've been 2013, mid 2013. I've been working in this industry. Unfortunately, for good or bad, I have bought my fair share of collections. I've seen fake and I've seen real Power 9s, and sometimes even with years of experience, sometimes these things slip by you, especially when you're buying collections. And you don't
there's
have
too many cards
you don't have time to like feel, look at every card in detail, feel every card's texture, see whether if it's not too oily for its language base, or is the material feel a bit weird, is the font a bit spaced out. Sometimes these things slip by you. And working in this industry, including Mark, who has much more experience than me, and Ben and Joe, unfortunately, are more trained in this because they have been doing the high-end stuff for much longer. And they primarily do high-end. It's easier for them to spot. But newer fakes, like the Raging Ravine that we were just talking about.
Oh, those are really good, man.
They are really good fakes. And it bypasses even the people with the most experience, the people that I know with decent amount of experience. So I won't say that it is on the shop's responsibility to check for fake cards. But what I'm saying is that there's always a margin for error, especially when it comes to buying collection, which includes some fakes, which even the owner didn't know was fake. Right? I had an old customer walk in the Tampines shop and said, I kept these for like 20 plus years. These are beta Power 9s. I looked at it, it passed all the tests. Then when I passed it to Mark, it's like, nope, this thing feels weird. It's definitely a fake. And through thorough testing, it was actually fake.
What was the other thorough testing? Do you do you check it under a loop?
So we didn't have the loop at that point of time because they were doing an event and I was playing a Tampines shop. I didn't have it. But it passed the light test. It passed, no bend test, no tear test, because beta Power 9s. Shit. But when it passed the light test and the font looks correct, and I even referenced it online.
Oh, yeah.
And it passed my judgment. And I was scrutinizing it really hardly.
That becomes dangerous.
Yeah, it becomes dangerous because even the owners of the cards didn't, and this was 20 years back, so even the owners didn't know. They just left it in the box somewhere, assumed it was real, and then like one day they cashed out. So you get what I mean? When even the owners can't tell it's real and they pass it off.
Well, the owners usually
the owners won't know.
The people who get duped won't know lah. But that's the thing. Like as store owners, or as people who run stores, I think when you sell it to the stores, it is of course their responsibility to know whether the card is fake or not. And sometimes it does pass through, and that's when like some of the cards get into circulation.
Yes, correct.
Of course, it stops somewhere. It has to stop somewhere because shops don't just sell to players. Shops also sell to other shops and so forth and so on. And when they do inspect, so it does go through a lot of eyes. So that's why I think this avenue of getting the cards out is getting these cards into circulation. This is where there is a bit of a I wouldn't be worried too much lah. At some point, the buck does stop. If it passes one shop, it might not pass another shop, or it might not pass this thing. Players, I don't think players, except with the exception of Power 9s, I don't think players come in.
Actually, you'd be wrong. So I have a personal friend, Teng Wei. You all might know him. He plays like a fair bit of modern.
Okay.
So I think once upon a time he did tell me that he has a set of like fake Goyfs. I asked him like, how do you know it's fake? So he told me he went through all the tests and stuff. So I told him like, so why are you still playing with it and keeping it? He said that
it's a reminder.
This is almost a quote. He said if you don't get caught and it's fully sleeved, no one can tell it's a fake or not. You just play with it anyway.
That's true.
Because the money is spent. So my 2 cents that I passed to Alfin because I thought I wasn't having the mic is, without reading the articles, that's the economic side. Is are players making a conscious decision to buy fake cards even though they know it's not legal?
Okay, so that's the other. Right? Yeah.
So because in the end, the market, the economic damage that comes from fakes and counterfeit goods, in the same as normal economies such as Singapore or America, all comes with consumer decisions, right? Yeah. So if we all decide that buying fakes is more worth it than buying real cards from boosters and stuff, getting it from other players, then yes, of course there'll be severe damage, and we can see the rippling effect of it. My question is, I didn't do that much research. I only did like the baseline economic side of it. So how extensive is this damage? Can we have a card that exemplifies this problem?
So the scenario that you're highlighting, right, is where the buck stops. this card doesn't go out. This person, okay, so a person who knows that they're buying fakes, these proxies that we're going to call them, who is going to use them in tournaments or like casual play and stuff like that. And if they know that if they get caught, there's consequences, but they still use it. But that is where the buck stops because they know it's fake. And then, okay, maybe they're going to pass it on. And that's where it gets dangerous. So the part where, if the player knows that this needs to stay within their own collection, that's that would be good lah. But it's not necessarily the case because if that's what it's used for, then the extent of the problem is actually not very big. The impact of the problem is not very big.
Well, I think I have to stop you right there. I think the extent of the problem is actually quite big. So can you imagine a set of Tarmogoyf fakes? So imagine how much LGS were made if they sold
if the LGS, okay. So that's the other part of it lah. Like the other side of the problem is that this person is not buying cards from the shop or is not buying cards from these other players who are who are keeping these cards for monetary value or just like I think the simplest case is of course the LGS selling cards, right? So that's the other part. That's the other side of it. I think that's the we'll talk about the impact lah. They were still talking about magnitude. So and then of course the third one is that the printer or the other case is that the printer sells directly to players.
Yes, correct.
As what we're seeing in Carol Hell and shit like that. And well, if the players know that they're buying fakes, that's good because they buy it for a purpose. They buy it for a very specific purpose. I want to assume that everybody is who does know that it's fake.
Just wants it for personal usage.
Yeah, either for personal usage or like in a group usage. Okay, we don't talk about the impact. So the bug really just stops there. The problem is when this person like buys, let's say in bulk. And then and then you start selling it out or
start circulating the rest of the market, right?
That's where the problem is. So we don't know. I mean, we will never know how. We know that there are a lot of different people out there, and definitely there are going to be some people who are going to be like that.
Course.
But how many? We won't know lah. So this is where the question mark is on the impact. But I believe that impact.
The magnitude wise.
Magnitude wise, it is moderate to small because the few scenarios in which you can get these cards into circulation don't make sense.
I mean, then again from economic perspective, right? So one of our experiences is that we had I'm not going to name nationality or anything like that. But somebody brought to a show a stack of JTMSs. Zendika JTMSs. And it was a stack, and he was selling it for like I think somewhere half of normal shop buy price.
Okay.
So we were like, maybe this legit because it's a whole stack. Maybe he wants to dump it all for like quick cash.
That doesn't sound legit.
And true enough, every single piece of them were fake. So in my mind, when you talk about magnitude, see, it doesn't make sense because if some guy brings a whole stack of JTMS, like this guy is fishy as hell. We're not going to buy from him.
That's
the problem is. Since he already printed it and he knows that he can't do it in bulk, he can just simply distribute it slowly,
one by one.
And the magnitude is still there because the cards are printed and still going to be in circulation. It's just a matter of how long it takes for his X supply to reach the saturation in the market, right? To fully be circulated in the market. And so the magnitude is always a questionable thing. Is how good are the fakes and how many are being printed and how are they releasing into the market? And usually the way I see it is like one Carol Hell, posing it off as a decent enough fake that you can play in legal RELs. The next thing is, going up to an auction or, going up to players selling one piece at a time, right?
One piece at a time and then through mail where you get it and then you can this thing out.
And, players won't check like that. Like, oh my God, I got a cheap ass JTMS.
How many of us have a loop at home?
I mean, it's only
yeah, exactly right.
But, I mean, if you touch every single type of foreign card. Actually, every foreign card has different texture, feelings, like the oiliness of the card.
Japanese cards are more slippery.
So if you had a bit of experience whacking packs, just touching every foreign card, and you buy a new card, you roughly know. The problem is when
the fake is that good.
So we had I think we had a recent contest about the library that we bought, Library of Alexandria, where it passed a Rosetta test, but the font was
it's not a Rosette test, man.
Oh, they used to look at the Rosette pattern for the older cards.
It's not a rosette pattern. It's called the Moire pattern.
More pattern.
More
pattern. Yeah. More fringe.
Okay, so
anyway,
the contest about that, and for older cards like these, sometimes it either passes off as a fantastic thing, or it's just in our mind we're thinking, is this a printing error? We can't quantify that because. Would you really tear up a Library of Alexandria? Would you really tear it up if you bought it out of good faith from a customer in his collection and then like this feels fishy?
Like we know that there used to be massive like printing errors. I think the best one was the Ruby Medallion, where it actually had a comic book print. Was it Superman or Spider-Man print on the comic book roll? So that was fantastic. And one of my friends does have one of those Ruby medallions. It's worth a lot.
For collectors, it's worth quite a bit.
Okay, but so maybe the extent of the problem, the magnitude of the problem is determined by how good the fakes are, and the fakes are really good. We are holding some fakes, and too bad we got no video now.
Yeah,
we're holding some fakes in front of us.
Like we have a Goyf fake, a very good Goyf fake, and
the Goyf actually passed the light test and this thing. We'll talk about the test after we're done.
There are a few tests for users to players to be precautious of these kind of things. But I think the impact is quite.
Yeah, so let's move on to the impact. I think the impact can be quite great. Okay, so there's one thing that man, I love this Board Game Geek. The way he who is the writer? He or she describes it, Ranapur, and they're saying these are flooding the market. So you talk about the Chinese printing companies deciding to print MTG cards that are very high quality. These are flooding the market and causing card prices to fall, which is causing owners to panic that their cards might become worthless overnight and freezing up the market as buyers become skeptical of the authenticity of their purchases. So... Like, okay,
I know where the sentiment is coming from, but it's like the same as the Donald Trump sentiment, right? Oh my God, he hasn't stepped into office, we're gonna burn.
Yeah, but he did step into office and everything is burning.
Yeah, kind of burning.
Fake. I don't like
for this user, I mean, Mick has only read the TLDR version, but first of all, in order to prove your statement, I believe that data is always important. So what are the cards that are being printed? So you all listed like breeding pools and blood crypts, right? So if you can see a distinct change in the market, then yes, we can say that the impact is bad. However, player sentiments about being skeptical about buying cards, now that's where it lies on the consumer decision, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's the
educating. So if you're a trader, like Mark, I mean, I don't consider myself a trader because I only work at a shop. But if you consider yourself a trader and you're buying and selling these cards, I think it's only fair, not only as a trader, but as a player, to educate yourself on what is a fake and how to tell what is a fake. You cannot just simply say, there are fakes, therefore everybody is scared. No one's going to buy cards and sell cards. Because people still love the game. It's a matter of, do they love their money more than they love the game?
I think if you play this game for long enough, you love the game more.
And also there's credibility. As a trader, like we were talking earlier, as a trader, I don't think you just buy random cards. And even if you, let's say you come across, you accidentally did buy a fake, like as a trader, I don't think you want to damage your reputation by selling fake. So, unless of course one day SCG just decides like fake, I'm gonna sell fake,
and
fake.
Even for our own purposes, we kept after we got the Goy fake from a show and the Imperial Seal fake, we put it at the back simply to educate future customers that these are good fakes and how to tell good fakes from real cards, right? And I think in terms of impact, this is jumping the gun, but this actually helps to dampen the impact of these fake cards by educating our player base to say, these are fakes. Look at them; they are really good. They might even pass us, but we caught them, and here it is. Let me show you what's a fake.
We're all for the good of the community, man.
That's what we used to do in Portugal. Like every week, Danny and Massimo, they'll come into the store, and then they'll have like Massimo and his brother. They run this online selling portal and they will bring to the store like a stack of cards, and they'll tell you there are some fakes inside. So then we all have like this little competition where we will try to figure out which is fake and which is not. And there are some that are incredible. Like there was a Sorin Markov, which nobody could tell whether it was fake or not. We just looked at it. I was like, this is not bad. We took loops and this thing, and because it was in a oh man, it was so good. It was basically just it almost fooled everyone until we tore up the card.
Oh, okay.
There was the blue there was the blue layer inside, but then
that's scary.
Yeah, we basically at that point of time, like, we had to use a backlight.
Oh.
We had to use a backlight, but we didn't have one, so we just tore up the card and then we just threw it away. Not tear up the card to go and figure out whether it's fake or not.
Just to get rid of it.
To get rid of it, yeah.
Because it's too good.
It's just too good. Like, we were all divided on whether the card was a fake or not.
Yeah.
So the impact of it, is, if there's moderate impact, okay. So let's say, for Legacy, and the impact is it's at very different stages. So in Standard, like, the impact of fake cards, I think, is very low because the circulation of cards are extremely high.
Yep.
The supply of cards is extremely high. When it comes to Legacy, I think it's got, and I do agree with the article, it's got moderate impact. Not a lot of people are playing Legacy.
Okay.
When we talk about dual lands, it's actually easier to figure out the old cards than new cards. The new cards, when I talk about new cards, like the modern cards, it's harder to tell, I think, fakes for modern cards than it is to tell fakes for really old cards. Especially when you talk about, let's say, like Library of Alexandria. The minute you pick it up, and the other day when we bought a collection from Stronghold Tempest, when you pick up the card, the texture is very unique. The texture is very unique, and when you keep a card that long, right?
Oh yeah. It
tends to develop a different texture from the cards nowadays, and it's very. I won't say it's impossible to replicate, but it is. It's just different, and it's easier to tell. And I don't know whether it's true, but Mark can smell cards.
Yeah, the cards
there's a smell.
smell.
There's actually a smell to it, which is damn strange. But and it's very easy to tell with a loop, I think, for older cards. So the highest impact is where it is actually in modern, and I do agree with this article, the Reddit article.
Okay.
Because we're looking at the Tarmogoyf in front of us. It almost passed the light test.
It
almost passed the light test. I think if you didn't have a card for a comparison, it passes the light test.
Yeah, it even passes the texture. It's just the texture.
Is a bit, the color's a bit off.
It's a bit.
That's it.
Looks light.
We need a loop lah. I need a loop to determine, and if there is the moire, the rosette pattern, then it really is. I don't doubt that there is no blue layer inside.
To be frank, I think one of my Verdant Catacombs feels like a fake.
Feels like a fake.
But I've never gone and tested it because I play so little. But
go get a loop. And
but once again, Ben sold it to me, so. Hopefully, Ben didn't dig me, but I don't think he will.
I think as a joke, like, 20 years down the road, he'll tell you, hey, you know what? I owe you one Verdant Catacombs because the one I sold you was a real fake.
So, about impact-wise, about counterfeit cards, like mirroring just economic theory, and the closest thing that we can compare it to is actually an internal game economic market system called Team Fortress 2. So Team Fortress 2 Team Fortress 2 had blue chip trades. So keys, the keys they can buy on the store, earbuds, the bills they're all worth like a static currency, and they fluctuate only when the market determines that the price is a bit lower. So what happened is that I think a period of time where people just flooded the market with dupes. The problem is that this is the real issue. When consumers decide that it's okay to deal with dupes because they might get extra value out of that one-time transaction, and bump up their status economically. And I say my inventory was worth $100 in fakes, but if it was real, it'd be like maybe $300. But now I bumped it all off, and now I got $300 of real inventory. You know what I mean? I think the impact really lies with consumer decision, because if we all as a community decide not to buy fakes, and the fakes are taboo, it'll be okay because.
But it also depends on the price of the cards. You see, we talk about Tarmogoyfs, and Tarmogoyfs are like $100 a piece.
Yes.
So when we talk about like the real impact is that, and the reason why modern has the highest impact because the cards are goddamn expensive, and sometimes if we don't know, it's bad.
Yeah, when we don't know,
if we know and we still do it, and players, what you're saying, players still do it. Players still sell the cards, even when they know. That's when it's really, really bad. And that's when the impact, like the highest impact.
I think to be fair, those people who don't know they are selling off their cards and they are fakes, and they're really good fakes, and they're just selling out without knowing they're fakes, then it's a mistake, blindside mistake, because you didn't know either. You probably bought it for the real card's value.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give myself a pass on these people, including my Verdant Catacombs, and say like, hey, you know what?
This was really good, man.
It's an honest mistake. But if you're making a conscious decision to buy fakes,
for those of you who don't know, like Niat is the heart of it.
Yeah. If you make a conscious decision to buy fakes and then sell fakes and trade fakes for monetary value, then you are a problem. Because you are simply trying to gain value off, poor unknowing players of the game, right?
Straight up deception.
So the thing about impact is, yes, I think that Modern, for one, we can say that all the card prices are incredibly insane. Look at Ancestral Visions. Look at, Cryptic Command have all been a drop because, Modern Master Trees. But cards that are not speculated for reprints are insane in price. And I can sort of understand that, if you want to buy it, but you don't have the cash, you're a teenager, you're schooling, you don't work, it's very hard to afford these cards. And you might choose to buy fakes. My real gripe with this is that if you really like the game that much, and you really want to play, why don't you make some friends? Why don't you borrow the cards? Why don't you, ask the shop if they can lend you the card? Why go through all the trouble to encourage fakes, all right? So, because without people making a conscious decision
without
choose
demand,
fakes,
there'll be like...
there'll be no impact at all, right?
Yeah.
So, I think that impact-wise, I can understand Modern. And Legacy is a bit harder to fake because the old cards are very unique.
Yeah.
And with the exception of very few cards, there are not that many printing errors of a variety of types, right? Like spacing-wise, font-wise, border-wise, roundness of the card edge. So... Modern I can understand because those are the easiest to fake off. There was no uniqueness. Now we can pass the light test, can pass the blue paper test.
That was hard.
Yeah. So I can understand why, but my real gripe is don't do it consciously. If you don't know it, it's just an honest mistake. Don't circulate it. Keep it with you, and when you got the money, buy the real ones. Because I think that if somebody calls you out on using a fake card in a competitive RL, that's going to be terrible.
I think you die.
No, it's an immediate ban.
Yeah.
If you... So there will be some investigation called if you knowingly use it as a fake, then there is immediate disqualification.
Holy moly. Okay, that's quite
further,
bad, man.
It will be further... Like, if we do discover that you are using it intentionally, right, the likelihood that you will
buy the card and you use it,
disqualified and further maybe not banned, but like... what was that? Suspended.
Wow, that's still bad, right?
That's still bad.
That's kind of banned.
There's a story about this guy who bought an entire Modern deck and brought it for a GP, and then found out it was fake.
Oh I remember that one.
Found out it was fake. And then he and his friend got DQ'd from the event. They got refunded. They had to leave the event, but they got refunded for the event because they didn't know the deck was fake. So. And the reason why he knew this other guy's deck was fake was because he lent the other guy the deck. So they bought 2 whole Modern decks. This guy bought 2 whole Modern decks for the GP itself, lent it to his friend, and both of them ended up not having to play the tournament at all. Because they were suspected.
Well, at least they didn't get banned, right?
They didn't get banned, and so that's the thing. So if you did not know that your cards were fake,
dude, I can't imagine getting banned from a GP though. Can you imagine if you fly overseas or you drive in the States and then it's like, hey dude, your entire deck is fake by the way. You lost $1,000 and now you have to go back home.
Yeah.
Wow. Boom.
No, they got
maximum deal.
So they got refunded the
entry fee
event but I mean
consolation price $50.
Sucks, man.
I can see. So. One of the things I read was substitution effect, but I don't think it applies that much in counterfeit goods. But so the main difference is that in normal economic terms, so when you talk about Prada fakes, people make a conscious decision because it's a status thing. You're like, I have a Prada handbag. Whether it's fake or not, you can only know if I let you touch my bag.
Yeah.
So Magic on the other hand is different because everybody wants to own the cards. Everybody wants. It's same thing with status, but owning the real ones, the people are like, oh my god,
subsidy
I'm impressed,
effect
man.
doesn't really
So,
apply here.
So I feel that a lot of players in Magic aren't making conscious decisions to buy fakes.
Yeah.
Even if they're being circulated in the market, people don't know. People just look at the price like, hey, that's, somewhat cheap, but it's not ridiculously cheap that I can suspect it's a fake, so I buy it, and then they don't know it's a fake. So I think at least the Magic community is, decent enough to, not encourage the purchase and selling of fakes.
Okay, so how do we... I think we're done examining the impact. How do we identify fakes? So there's 3 main tests, and the rest of them are just baloney. At this point of time, really can tell you that some of the tests just don't work anymore.
Get a loop.
Okay, so number 1 is get a loop, and what you're trying to identify is this thing called the
Moore effect.
The Moore effect.
The Moore printing effect.
Moore printing effect. So basically, when you print layers onto a certain thing, there's actually let me read out Wikipedia. The Moore pattern or Moore fringe are large-scale interference patterns that can be produced when an opaque ruled pattern with transparent gaps is overlaid with another similar interface, another pattern, and basically makes this weird patterning on the print of the card. The other thing is that the rosette, there's this thing called a rosette pattern, where basically when you print dots, so this is what happens, you're printing dots on the card. Okay. And that's how the card gets printed out.
All right.
And you're printing dots of different colors, so they interact with each other in a very distinct way. So that when you use a loop, and what is a loop is a very strong magnifying glass.
Okay.
To examine the surface of the card, you see this pattern very, very clearly. Not to say that this is 100%.
Not a sure.
It's not a surefire. Okay,
Yeah.
so for let's say like laser printed stuff, right? You will definitely see that the pattern is not there.
Yep.
Or it is it's how you say?
It's obvious.
It almost looks like it's 3D. When you look at the pattern, it almost looks like it's 3D. But when you print it on, it's obviously going to be flat, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is that there are different prints. So, for example, like the event deck.
Yeah.
It actually has a different pattern. It has a different rosette pattern. It has a different Moore pattern than the normal card. So, if you take a Tasigur from the event deck and you take a Tasigur of a normal card,
it's not going to be the same.
It's not going to be the same. And so that, but that's one way to tell. So that's one way to tell between a okay looking fake, and then a bad looking fake. Of course, the feel, we talked about the feel, the touch, the smell, if you can smell it. You can smell.
The way you say it, man.
Then we have the what's that? What's the other? Oh man, what was the? The light test. Okay, so the light test. This one is really easy to do if you got a mobile phone or if you got a little torchlight. You shine it through. A strong light. You shine it through the card, and you should see this very wavy pattern. That's actually the piece of paper that's underneath, and you should see that it's kind of bluish in color because of the blue layer on the inside. So the blue paper is actually some kind of crepe paper. It's kind of wrinkly and stuff like that. So when you shine it through, you'll be able to see. The card is quite translucent.
Yes.
And all the print on the card is almost translucent, so it'll go right through.
You can ignore the blue color as well. I think one of the main things is also about thickness of the card, because it does indicate how much light passes through the card.
Yep.
The best thing to do in the light test is to have a comparison of several cards of their generation. So if you buy a Ravnica Overgrown Tomb, try to get a Ravnica Common or Uncommon or Rare and compare it with the same level, because different generation of cards might have different amount of lights passing through.
Correct.
Thickness as well.
Yeah, because the print quality, I mean, we did mention this.
They do change the printing, they do change the printing process a bit.
From set to set. So that's the best way to use a light test, which is why we were saying in the blind, this Tarmogoyf that we're holding here will pass the light test, because it does look like what I remember most cards looking like. We have an Imperial Seal here that that totally fails the light test because the lines are all vertical.
Yeah, but the card itself, when I look at the Imperial Seal,
and you feel the card, right?
I feel the card. It doesn't feel and look like a fake. Only when I do the light test, like okay,
it's like obvious.
This is like some fishy stuff. Of course, feeling the thickness with just your hand is something like
feels legit.
Yeah, it's something only people who have been doing it for many years can be able to tell the sense of touch.
Yeah. Okay, then the last way to tell is actually to use a black light.
That exists?
Oh, man, I don't know.
UV light. UV light is very difficult. I wouldn't say, UV light is like almost a determining thing.
But if you use a backlight, man, what if you see like white spots all over the car, man? It'll scar you for the rest of your life.
Then you also don't want to buy the card. Okay, so using a backlight, right, you can tell that the corners of the cards, especially the edge of the card, it doesn't have any markings.
Yeah.
These markings are actually created by the cut. And like it's part of the card itself. For a fake, it's relatively easy to tell. There's a lot of apparently these cards are treated after they are printed. So for a fake, it's not usually treated. So you can actually see that there's a cut line at the side. So it's kind of like whitish on the sides. This also is not foolproof because sometimes the card is relatively damaged and you will see the white on the sides of the card. But in combination, all these three tests will help you identify if it is a proper card.
The worrying part, though, is how long is it? Would it be the possibility of these counterfeit printing companies? Will they be able to completely make a perfect counterfeit? Like, is it possible? Will they do it in the future?
I think they can. I think already we're almost heading to a point where it's almost a perfect counterfeit. We're looking at some that are really, really very good already. It's really hard to tell. So that's the bottom line. But that's really how it's gonna roll out.
That's when Trump gets elected.
Fake. I'm gonna give you fake cards.
The China fakes.
Vagina. Alright, we're gonna call it an episode, because they're gonna start the judge conference very, very soon.
Mini conference.
The mini conference, so it's not really a mini conference, it's a policy and rules update.
Do I get a judge foil?
No, we don't get judge foils.
Oh, I wanted one.
If only. No, I'll give you guys judge foils. Like there's I've been meaning to share with you. Actually, I wanted to give it out during the 100th episode, but we never recorded the 100th episode.
Oh.
So
Ripple,
man, Ripple. Alright, so we're gonna end the episode right here. Thanks for listening. Remember, every week you can find new episodes on power9podcast.com, mtgcast.com, as well as on iTunes. And if you're on YouTube, I started uploading the videos again. So you can start finding episode 100 on. We took a break for like 5 episodes. Episode 95 is not even there. So it's okay. But we'll record an episode 100 one of these days.
Episode 100.
Massively delayed episode 100. So what was I saying? Yeah, you can find us on YouTube. Just type in there Power9 Podcast. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Power9 Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Power9 Podcast, and then Twitter at Power9 Podcast.
The 9 is a number 9.
Hey, finally, you're back.
Did it.
Last but not least, you can find myself on Twitter at The Asian Judge. You can find Alfian at
Scription
YN? No, just Scription. Alright, okay. Stop changing your Twitter handle, man.
Yeah, sorry.
Everybody's like, is it Scription YN? Is it Alfian Poon?
Just look at Alfian Poon, you'll get it. That name doesn't change.
I don't know. I don't know. Who knows, man?
Yeah. You can look for me in Final Fantasy 14. My name is Alfina.
Alfina. What else was I going to say? You can also find us on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheAsianJudge, twitch.tv/Grey Ogre Games. Every Tuesday nights, every Wednesday nights, we have we cover people, weekday tournaments, and
sometimes the weekends. We have those other tournaments too.
Oh yeah, like the RPTQ that's coming up, guys. You gotta watch that, man. I think I'm going to just play the last LCQ for the RPTQ.
Oh yeah, I have no confidence anymore.
I have zero confidence.
I legitimately have no confidence in myself anymore. So
Yay.
maybe I'll just bring a stupid jank that like blue red machine gun that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. Oh, well, I still think the Grixis machine gun works. I'm still trying to build like Mega Jank, the Shrum Dum Dum Shrum deck.
Actually, I saw a decent Shrum, the Shrum paradoxical outcome deck in the Indonesia.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That was
paradoxical outcome. Oh
yeah.
No. I'm thinking Indomitable. I'm thinking Indomitable.
Oh what?
Yep.
Oh boy.
Shrum's expertise and Indomitable.
Indomitable creativity.
Yeah, that's the
one.
Boy. Good stuff.
Oh boy.
Good stuff. Cannot bluff. Right,
got some bluff.
Got bluff. We're gonna call it a day. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys next week. So for myself and Alfian, we're signing out.
Ciao.
Ciao.